You think it's love. The butterflies, the intensity, the way you can't stop thinking about them, how they make you feel alive and terrified all at once. You call it passion, but deep down, it feels unstable, exhausting, addictive. You keep coming back to people who confuse you, who pull you in just to push you away. And every time they leave, you promise yourself you won't go through it again. But you do. Because what you're calling chemistry might actually be trauma. When your nervous system grows up in chaos, calm feels suspicious. Love, for you, became something that burns, that hurts, that leaves you guessing. So when you finally meet someone who is kind, steady, and safe, you get bored. You pull away. You say there's no spark. But maybe the truth is hard to admit. You didn't fall in love, you fell into a pattern. Let's talk about it, deeply, honestly, and see where this confusion truly begins. There's a part of you that craves the highs and lows, the emotional roller coaster, the waiting, the longing, the sudden text that makes your heart race. It's not just about love, it's about survival. You learned early that love was unpredictable. Sometimes it showed up, sometimes it disappeared. Sometimes it felt warm, other times it hurt. So now, as an adult, you subconsciously look for that same rhythm. Your nervous system has been trained to associate intensity with connection. And silence, stability, emotional safety, it feels like disconnection. It's not that you want the chaos, but your body doesn't trust anything else. So when someone triggers your anxiety, you feel drawn to them. And when someone brings peace, you feel detached. That's not love. That's a nervous system stuck in survival mode. But here's the good news. Once you recognize the pattern, you can choose to break it. You can teach your body that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. The chaos you think you crave is just the echo of what once made you feel seen. You meet someone new, and instantly there's a spark. Your chest tightens, your stomach flips, and something in you whispers, "This is it." But pause. That intense spark you feel, it might not be love. It might be your fear recognizing something familiar. Because when you grow up surrounded by emotional unpredictability, your body learns to stay alert, to scan for signs, to overanalyze every word, every silence, every look. So when someone triggers that old anxiety, your body lights up, not in passion, but in panic. And you confuse that panic for excitement. You think, if I feel this much, it must be love. But love doesn't have to feel like a storm. It doesn't have to come with confusion, uncertainty, or a racing heart. Sometimes the spark isn't chemistry, it's trauma, recognizing trauma. And real love, it might feel calm. It might feel quiet. It might feel boring at first, only because it doesn't hurt. So ask yourself, are you chasing connection or recreating a wound, hoping for a different ending?
You don't choose chaos on purpose. You choose it because it feels like home. Not safe, not peaceful, just familiar. You keep meeting people with different faces, but the same emotional pattern. They pull you in, they leave you guessing, and they never truly choose you. Still you wait, still you hope. Still you try to be good enough for them to stay this time. But deep down, it's not really about them. It's about the unfinished story you're trying to rewrite. That one person who didn't love you right, you're trying to find them again so you can finally fix it. But love isn't about proving you're worthy. It's about feeling safe without performing. If this resonates with you, if you've lived this loop in silence, you're not alone. This channel is a place for people like you, people who feel deeply, people who are tired of mistaking pain for love. So, if you want to keep exploring these truths, subscribe. Let's walk this healing journey together, because it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to stop the pattern.
Real love doesn't make you beg. It doesn't keep you chasing. It doesn't reward your silence and punish your needs. But when chaos is all you've known, you learn to run after love, not receive it. You become someone who gives more than they should, who forgives too quickly, who waits too long for someone who never really shows up. You convince yourself, if I love harder, they'll change. But the truth is, you're not in love, you're in pursuit. And the more unavailable they are, the more obsessed you become. Why? Because it mirrors a deeper wound, the one where you had to earn attention, where love was inconsistent and your needs were too loud. So now when someone is distant, you feel alive, hooked, attached. But not because it's love, because your nervous system remembers this rhythm, and it's trying to survive it all over again. What you think is romantic might just be the pain of your past asking for resolution, and no amount of chasing will ever heal what happened back then.
You say you want peace, but when someone actually gives it to you, you pull away. You say, they're too nice, there's no fire, I don't feel the spark. But maybe that calm presence doesn't feel right because you never had it growing up. You didn't learn to relax around love, you learned to walk on eggshells, to watch for moods, to keep the peace, even when you were falling apart. So now, when someone shows up with softness, with emotional maturity, with consistency, it doesn't feel safe. It feels foreign. You get uncomfortable not because it's wrong, but because it doesn't match your past. And so you sabotage, you withdraw. You say, I just don't feel anything. But maybe what you don't feel is the chaos. Maybe for the first time, your nervous system is quiet, and you mistake that stillness for emptiness. But here's the truth. Peace isn't boring. It's just unfamiliar. And healing means learning to receive it, even when every part of you wants to run.
The way you love now was shaped long before you knew what love even meant. If love was unpredictable when you were young, you learned to tolerate emotional instability. If you had to earn affection, you became a performer. If you were ignored, you became a caretaker, hoping someone would finally see you. So as an adult, you don't seek out what's good for you, you seek out what's familiar. And that's why you confuse chaos with passion, because your body remembers. It remembers the waiting, the apologizing, the ache of being close yet still unseen. And now, every time you feel anxiety around someone, your brain whispers, "This must be love." But that's not love. That's your inner child, still trying to heal through repetition, still trying to earn what they should have been given freely. It's not about blaming your past. It's about understanding it. Because you can't change what you repeat until you see where it truly began. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love must come with struggle, that if it's too easy, it's not real, that if you're not hurting, you must not be trying hard enough,
that love means sacrifice, always. So you stay in relationships that drain you. You call it loyalty. You call it commitment. But really, it's fear. Fear that if you stop fighting for love, you'll lose it. But real love doesn't need to be earned. It doesn't keep you guessing. It doesn't punish you for having needs. Love that's real is not supposed to feel like a battlefield. But when you've grown up believing that love equals pain, you start rejecting anything that feels too soft, too stable, too sane. You walk away from people who don't trigger your wounds and walk straight into people who do. Not because you're broken, but because your definition of love was shaped by survival. Here's the truth. Love isn't meant to be a place where you prove your worth. It's meant to be a place where you remember it. There's a kind of love that doesn't rush, that doesn't confuse you, that doesn't need to be tested to feel real. It's calm, it's consistent, it's quiet, but powerful. And when you first experience it, your mind resists. You overthink it. You look for red flags. You wonder why you're not feeling that intense rush. Because you've spent so long in relationships where love came with drama, that peace feels like a trap. You think, this is too easy. Something must be wrong. But the truth is, nothing is wrong. You're just not used to being respected. You're not used to someone choosing you without games. You're not used to love that doesn't require pain. This is the kind of love that heals. But to receive it, you have to stop chasing what hurts. And that requires grieving the version of love you thought was real. The one you clung to. The one that kept you in cycles of almost love and almost safety. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. And you can't find real love while still craving emotional chaos. The first step out of the chaos isn't finding a new person. It's noticing the patterns inside you. When you feel that rush, pause. Ask yourself, am I feeling love or am I feeling fear? When someone pulls away, resist the urge to chase. Instead, ask, what am I really running from? Healing isn't linear. It's messy. It's slow. It's uncomfortable. But it's also freeing. When you start recognizing your trauma-driven behaviors, you take back your power. You stop confusing chaos for passion. You stop settling for pain disguised as love. You begin to build a new narrative, one where love is safety, not stress, where calm is connection, not boredom, where you are enough without having to fight or prove it. This awareness is the foundation for real change. Changing your story means creating new experiences, new ways of relating, new ways of loving. Start small. Notice how it feels to be honest about your needs, to say no without guilt, to sit with discomfort instead of running away. Surround yourself with people who show up consistently, who respect your boundaries, and who communicate with kindness. It won't always feel natural at first. Old patterns will try to pull you back. The urge to chase chaos will whisper in your ear. But every time you choose calm over chaos, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching yourself that love doesn't have to hurt, that you deserve peace, that you are worthy of safety. This process takes time and patience, but it's the most important work you'll ever do. You've spent so long confusing chaos with passion, but now you're waking up to something new. Real love isn't a wildfire. It's a steady flame. It warms you without burning you. It doesn't leave you exhausted. It doesn't keep you guessing. It lets you be yourself, fully and without fear. You're learning to listen to your body, to honor your needs, to choose peace even when it feels unfamiliar. This isn't weakness, it's courage. Because breaking free from the chaos means facing your deepest wounds. It means rewriting your story. It means believing, truly believing, that you deserve love that heals. And as you walk this path, remember, you're not alone. Your trauma doesn't define you. Your future is waiting, calm, safe, and real. So, take a deep breath. Let go of what no longer serves you, and step into the love you were always meant to have.